And welcome back. More fashion with fashion designer Kristen Haskins Sims. You know, I love your stuff, and now you're wearing the fleece that you zipped out of this rain jacket.
Yes, I'm wearing the fleece.
So I just want to show this.
Yeah, I'm wearing.
Look at this.
Yeah, it's just
adorable.
something. You know, it's a fun fleece jacket. You know, I'm not going to zip it up because it's so hot in here. But yeah, but it's its own jacket. So this is the lining from it, and then you know you take it out.
And then you can zip it back in.
Just zip it back in, or you can
wear it as one big piece.
as one big piece.
So where do people find your? Because you know I'm already getting the emails. Like where do I find her stuff? Because you're talking about Kristen and the Chrissy line.
Yes.
Where do people find you?
Well, I have an online store that's www.shopkrissy.com. It's really simple, but we also
Krysy.
Krysy. And then, yeah, I'm still putting this jacket because I have to do the whole thing. And then we have a store downtown in downtown Philadelphia, and it's called Us US. So everything in the store, it's me and a bunch of designers who have a design co-op. Doesn't really fit, but.
And where's your store located?
It's on 323 Arch Street.
Okay.
And that's right between 4th and 3rd on Arch, closer to 4th Street, across from the Meeting House.
Okay, perfect.
But yeah, everything in the store is, yeah, it's all U.S. made, and right now all Philadelphia made.
All local.
All local.
Which we always want to support. Buy local and buy often,
buy local.
right?
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
But do you get that reaction when people discover you there on Arch, 3rd and Arch, and they say, oh my goodness, I didn't know about you.
Yes.
Or maybe I saw you on Project Runway.
Yeah, I have people come in and I'm like, wait a minute, aren't you? And it's funny, you know, I was off like by the 4th or 5th episode, so I'm surprised anybody even remembers me. And you know, and I'm okay with that. You know, I wasn't there for the fame. I just wanted to be able to promote and grow my business. And
did it help?
It's been great. It actually has, because I only had my line for a year before going to the show.
Which
and
is
then,
amazing.
Yeah, and so I'm like, wait a minute, what do you mean I'm casting? I almost didn't do it. I almost did not do it. So like, you know, from this casting moment, and I said, okay, I'm just happy to be going. I mean, I'm just happy to be going to the next round. I didn't think I was going to be on the show, and then when I got the call, I said, oh my God. It was panic. I think I was panicked for a couple months, and you know, my nerves. I said, how am I going to do this? And it was hard, but you know, kudos to those who really go through that process and
gives you
can
that
design under
appreciation.
pressure. Yeah, I appreciate the designers even more who do that, and it's just that, you know, stop doing it over and over again. Stop going on All Stars. Just focus on your business, you know, like after that point. But other than that, you know, it was a good experience. I'm glad I did it, even though if I hated all the TV stuff and that own pressure, it was really my own internal pressure and nerves.
Let's bring out Elise.
Yes.
So Elise is wearing a version. It reminds me a lot of the dress you're actually wearing, Kristen.
Yes, twinsies.
But it's in the dark green, which I know you love.
I love the dark green because, you know, it's an ode to military.
Here, hand me that and I'll hang it up.
Okay, thank you. The ode to military, and but what's good about this is, again, the waistline. See, Elise and I are two completely different sizes, and especially after having a baby. But we can still, I mean, this is elastic, so it really draws in the waist here. And I call it the kimono dress because I was inspired by kimonos when I created it. Okay. And I have different variations of it.
And that's this flap in the front.
Yeah, it's just this dress, but I call it the kimono mini because the other ones I have are 3/4 length. This one is, you know, knee length. So I'm really just doing a bunch of variations of it. And it's a really good transitional piece from spring, to spring.
And I love this because you have the kimono look in the front and the back.
Yes, exactly. So again, like it's flattering. You know, you're just bringing in the waistline because that's really what it's about. You know, even if you have a bit up top, a bit on the bottom, you know, in the Badlands. I mean, I have a lot on the bottom, but I like to strategically hide things. But if you bring in the waist, like here,
and
I mean,
you've got like a faux leather going on,
yes,
right?
and that's it's a faux leather. I mean, as much as I love stretch leather, it's expensive, so I try to keep my price points reasonable, so it's not, you know, because obviously as a mom, as a working person, you have other priorities, mortgage, everything. I'm like, I can't be spending like $700 on shoes and dresses and things all the time. So I try to keep my price points within the $200 to $300 range at most. And then I might have things that are $60. Sometimes I just want to give things away. If you're at the store, sometimes I'm like, you have to have it. I'll sell it to you for $10. So that's on a lucky day when I'm working the store.
They win the Kristen lottery.
Yes, the Kristen lottery. And sometimes, people have walked out of there with, like a thing I knew that should have been $300. It was $50 because I just wanted to get rid of it.
Okay, while we continue to talk, Elise, can we get you to model this one? Sure. I got to see this.
Yes.
Thank you, Elise.
Yes, really. Hopefully it fits.
Yeah, I love, because you and I call it, we have the good lands of the body, and then we got the bad lands.
Yeah, the bad
so we got to de-emphasize the bad lands, and you do that so well.
Yes, as I said, when you have it, you know how to do it. When you don't, then it's kind of like, what are you doing? So yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the thing with department stores. You go in, and a lot of them, and I won't name names, but a lot of them, really, they're for a boy, with somebody with a boy figure.
Yes.
The materials are not comfortable, they're overpriced, and they don't fit anybody right.
I know, and they're made in China.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, and I noticed in a report, I think there are more, I think it's up by 11% more U.S. made products that people are purchasing, even if it's a little bit more expensive, but I know there's more of an incentive to do it, and I was really happy to see that report.
Yeah, because I think that people, we're conscious of the jobs reports and that sort of thing, and so people do want to support local designers and people who are local who are working as opposed to, outsourcing.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, and I guess the tough thing for me has been finding a workforce because it seemed like all the seamstresses, sewers, machine operators are working for an Urban Outfitters to David's Bridal, and so I'm like, well, where am I going to find somebody? So I find somebody to work for me here and there because everything's made in-house right now. After I had my baby, I couldn't go up to New York all the time.
Yeah.
So I said, I need to make this in-house. So I do have a manufacturing facility where I produce all my items, sell it in my store and online, and a couple other accounts I have.
And you make it look so easy. You're like, oh, I'm lucky, but you're a very hard worker.
Oh,
you're very dedicated.
It's so hard. Some days I'm like, what am I doing? But I am doing a workforce training program, and I'm working with female ex-offenders. At least I'm just getting that started.
Let's talk about that, and in a minute, and let's see what Elise has for us. She's still changing.
Okay.
Right on the other side of the break. The Dawn Show continues. Whether it's fruit or fashion, I always say buy local, which is why we want to focus on our local fashion designer, Kristen, who we've been having this great conversation with, of the Chrissy line in Philadelphia and beyond. So you were just about to tell me you're having a meeting with the Biggity Big from the state of Pennsylvania,
Yes.
Department of Corrections. So you're going from fashion designing to Department of Corrections.
Yes.
Who are you trying to help?
I'm trying to help female ex-offenders, and you know what? It's interesting because as much as I'm the only person in my family who does what I do. My mother used to be the head of the parole department for Pennsylvania back in the '80s before she went back to school for went to law school. And I think part of my inspiration is her because she was the busy mom,
She wanted to
juggling.
help other women.
And she wanted to help other women. She started a program called New Directions for Women. And although we're going to be working with another program, but yeah, so this is another
This is
just
gorgeous.
fun. It's spring. It's a highlight of the spring season coming up. So yeah, you'll be able to get this too in different colors as well. But anyway, it's full circle because I'm meeting with the Department of Corrections.
We gotta go. We're out of time.
We're
we
out
needed
of
more time.
time. Oh,
Thank you
no.
so much. You're
No,
so beautiful.
glad. Oh, thank you.
Have a good one.